Our weed of the week is Scouring Rush. It's also called horsetail, and I used to call it something else. I called it joint weed because there are little sections and you can pull them out and then stick them back together.
Boy, it sounds like fun, Brian. Sounds like you had some nice toys to play with when you were younger.
Well, you know, back when we were walking beans,
there
you
were
had
no
to entertain yourself somehow.
There were no modern toys back when Brian was young, so we had to do what we could for cheap. Well, we're right by the edge of the field, and the reason that I wanted to be here, I wanted to make sure we were by the edge, is a lot of times Scouring Rush that creeps in from ditches.
Why?
One of the reasons why is it's a perennial weed, and it's one that once you start doing some tillage, we tend to tear up those root systems, and we don't see as much of it into the field. Now that we're getting into lower tillage situations, like in this field we were strip till, for example, you start seeing some of those weeds that we normally associate with no-till being a problem in strip till as well.
Well, with Scouring Rush, the way that I learned about this weed was years ago. We had a railroad that said, we've got to control this Scouring Rush. And I said, well, what do you care? What difference does it make if there are a few weeds along your railroad track? And they said, well, with Scouring Rush, it's a really big deal because if we get too much of it, what happens is it gets on top of the train tracks and the trains can't stop. They just keep sliding. It makes it difficult for the trains to stop. So the railroads wanted to control it, and they were throwing everything they could at it. High rates of Roundup, high rates of atrazine, just couldn't get it under control. The only thing they found that worked was Gramoxone or Paraquat. And you can use that product. It is labeled now for most crops, either before or after the crop is out of the field. The trouble with Gramoxone is it burns everything down. So it will kill everything. Don't expect you can go out in your cornfield like this and spray a bunch of Gramoxone. It'll kill it.
Well, with Gramoxone, it is one of those products that's really hot. It acts quickly, so do be cautious when you're using it. But that is about your only choice for controlling our weed of the week.
Well, that's all the time we have for this week's Weed of the Week, but stay tuned. There's more Ag PhD to come right after this.